Greetings, I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary. Leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stitching, and such a curious design. I have traveled distant trade routes from the markets of Damascus to the farms of India, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know, from which exotic part of the world do you hail?
You'd never believe me if I told
And
you.
now you have me more intrigued than before. But since it appears you do not wish to share, I will wait until we are better friends. We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps?
What's
My
your story?
How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop in the forum.
Why set up a tailor shop here?
You mean to say, with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule and so few customers, why bother setting shop at all?
Yes, more or
I
less.
tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's best. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better our chances of keeping our heads. Don't you agree?
Well, technically, normality wasn't a word yet. I mean, like, none of these were words, but like, it was normalcy until one of the presidents, I forget which one, said normality instead. And then they made it a word because of him. I mean, technically they're not speaking English, but, you know, whatever. I suppose so, whatever you
And
said.
there is another reason too. If we all end up as golden statues for future generations to marvel at, I don't know about you, but I would like to look my best.
How did you end up here?
A good question. A very good question indeed. And I would be happy to tell you if only I could remember it clearly myself.
Why don't you tell me what you do remember?
I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary selection of wares, and drowning in coin, I decided to celebrate my success. I rented a prestigious villa by the Tiber, invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of the most exquisite wine money could buy. Quite a lot of it, in fact. Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once, but none of that compares to this. This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my villa.
So you floated down the Tiber.
Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger. I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am.
Let's talk about something
Anything
else.
you like.
Do you know a way out of here?
Not so loud. What are you playing at?
Sorry, did I say the wrong thing?
Have you not been told about the last attempt?
The last attempt.
Then I suppose this duty falls to me. It is a long story.
It's not as if I'm going anywhere.
You are witty. I like that. Of course, the first question any of us asks when we first arrive is, how do I escape? It is only natural after all. And scaling the chasm wall is out of the question, for it is simply too steep and too far. But as they say, if the wind fails, use the oars. And here the second option is to leave the way we came in, through the shaft above the bathhouse. See, the shaft is quite high, but if one gathered up enough wood, one could make a series of ladders and climb one's way out.
Why hasn't anyone done
They
that yet?
have. I am getting to that. There was an attempt, made by resourceful fellows who lived here some years ago. They even decided to keep records of their escape attempt for posterity. Unfortunately, as soon as they began to carry the first ladder down the hallway, they heard a godlike voice shake the entire city, and that, tragically, is where their tale ends. So it seems that to merely attempt escape is to invite the wrath of whichever god oversees this place, and so I say it is best to not even discuss it aloud.
Got it, thanks. What do you think about the golden rule?
Ah, yes. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. As a Greek, this is nothing new to me. It is how our gods operate.
Why do you say that?
Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful lesson when he abducted Persephone and imprisoned her in the underworld. When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not punish Hades, the guilty one. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth so that it became hot and dry. Nothing grew. The grain turned to empty husks and the rivers dried up. Innocent people died by the tens of thousands until at last the other gods were forced to act, lest they have no worshippers left. So yes, we know this rule. This has always been the case. The Golden Rule has merely brought it into focus.
What can we do about it?
If we are to survive, I say we must each keep the simple wisdom of Thales of Miletus, first of the 7 sages of Greece, who said, "Avoid doing what you would blame others for doing."
Sounds simple enough.
It does, doesn't it? But it is not enough for us to do this alone. For even if 99% of us adopt this principle, that will never be enough. Sadly, no matter how well we protect ourselves, the life's work of many good people can be undone in the blink of an eye by a single selfish act.
I know, I've seen it happen.
Ah, the voice of experience. I am sorry for your loss, my friend. But on a lighter note, I will say one thing for the Golden Rule. For all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues do make magnificent models for my clothing, do they not?
Who are you going to vote
That,
for?
my friend, is quite the dilemma. But after some reflection, I'm leaning toward voting for Malleolus. I do not enjoy the thought of another visit from Domitius if I voted the wrong way.
Anything I can do to change that?
Nothing comes to my mind, my friend.
Any idea who's threatening Virgil?
This is troubling, is it not? I'm afraid I have no idea. It is ridiculous, though. Virgil is a fine man. But my young friend Fabia confided in me that she saw someone leaving graffiti on his shop front last night. Perhaps you should ask her about it. I hope
I'll
that
be
our
going
paths
now.
cross again soon, my friend.
Thanks, Georges. Georges. Whatever. Gorgeous George. Again, just keep saving. What's up? There's only 23 people here, so I feel I should get to know everyone.
Name's Rufius. Better watch your step.
Rufius. Like Rufio? Rufio! What's your story?
Can't talk long. Got to stay sharp, but family's from Seleucia on Tigris, Babylon province. But I've been roaming a long time now. Even joined the legions, the 6th, the one they call Ironclads.
How'd you end up here?
Same way as everyone else,
Are you still wearing your Legionnaire armor?
because we're all in grave danger. Is it not obvious?
Why don't you have a weapon?
Magistrate made me toss it in the chasm. Stupid. Going to have to improvise now.
Not much of a talker, are you?
If you were dealing with what I am, you wouldn't be either.
What are you dealing
None
with?
of your business. In Troite ipsum commensula.
Let's talk
We
about
have
something
to.
else. Do you know a way out of
If I
here?
did, do you think we'd be having this conversation?
Fortune smile on you, brother.
Thank you. What do you think about the Golden Rule?
I'll tell you this much. I hate the fact that my survival depends on the common sense of other people.
I know the feeling. I've lived through a pandemic.
Then you know what I'm talking about. I mean, all these people just bumble along like nothing's wrong. Well, we're one bad decision away from being wiped out. Like the last lot of people who lived here. Seems like I'm the only one ready for what's coming. Whatever that is. And when it hits, it's everyone for themselves. You've been warned.
What do you think is coming?
I don't know. But did you ever get the feeling some of these statues are watching us when we're not looking? Like they're waiting for something. I don't like it.
I think you're right.
Of course I am.
Who are you going to vote for?
Meliodas. Not sure I trust Sentius. Couldn't even protect his daughter in a city without sin. How's he going to protect us?
Anything I can do to change that?
No.
Man, everyone's pretty set on not voting for Sentimus or whatever his name is. I'll be going now. Okay. Like I said, save after every conversation. Even if bad things happen, I guess. Okay, I'll help you. What do you want? Oh.
Help! You have to do something! A man arrived in the baths. A real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's gonna break the golden rule.
And he was threatening Virgil?
Are you serious? This is an emergency. Are you going to help or not?
I'll get right on it.
He's still in there, somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over.
Did you hear
In
that?
what?
Heard a voice whisper no.
What? We don't have time for this. I have to go.
Never mind, I don't know why I said that. Oh, and I have to watch her die no matter what.
The shrine is collapsing.
So there's a god doing stuff. Georges wasn't here this time. There he comes. Yeah, I'll just keep saving over that. She's dead forever. I heard this is a time loop game, but I mean, I died last time and...
Did anyone see that? The whole shrine just collapsed on her. Oh, Fabian, why did you have to go in there? Poor sweet girl.
Warning. Beware, shrine may collapse at any moment. Oh. George just went back. Who's this guy? Hilarious.
Ah, it's you again. Hope you're settling in, friend. Now, what's on your mind?
What's your story?
It's a long one and kind of sad, but I don't mind telling it.
I have time.
I'm a farmer. Always have been. I grew up in a small village in Britannia, Camulodunum, with my parents and 2 little sisters. Lovely part of the world. One day, when I was about 20, my father and I were in the top paddock, loading our cart, when some Roman legionaries came along, demanding produce for their men. My father told me to run into the house for his axe, and so I did. Sprinted so fast I almost threw up. But by the time I got back, he was bleeding out on the ground, and our cart was empty. That was my first encounter with the legions. My mother died of a broken heart soon after, and things went downhill from there. I took over the farmstead, but I was young, and it was a struggle. More raiding started before too long. We'd come outside in the morning to find animals missing, our stores pillaged. These legion thugs just took whatever they wanted. One night, when my sisters and I had nothing left to steal, there was a knock at the door. I knew who they were, and what they wanted. I got my father's old axe, pulled the door open real quick, and before that soldier knew it, split his face right down the middle. But there were more of them. I never saw how many, because the next thing I knew, I was waking up with a mouth full of dirt and lungs full of smoke. My home was reduced to ash. My sisters, dead. And they left me alive to see what they'd done. Still burns whenever I think about it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, I wasn't the only one this happened to. It wasn't long before Boudica led thousands of Britons in a rebellion against the Romans. Unfortunately, there were just too many of them. And those of us who survived, they enslaved. So, then I found myself being transported all the way to Rome, to be sold to the highest bidder. I spent a few years working for my new master, learning the Romans' ways, Romanized my name and everything. Tried to escape a couple of times, but they always found me, and I'd just end up right back where I was. I'd probably still be there too, if it wasn't for the stampedes breaking out. You see, about 7 months ago, an enormous fire broke out in Rome. Everybody was running down toward the river, screaming and shouting. I'd never seen anything like it. Human beings acting like cattle. I got swept up with them somehow, and the rest is a blur. The next thing I knew, some stranger was dragging me out of a river. Stumbled across this place, and I started my life over again.
Glad things worked out in the end.
That's what I thought too, for a while. But it seems the gods aren't done tormenting me yet. See, I finally had my own farm again, safe from the grasping hands of the Romans. Or so I thought. Until Sentius the Decurion demanded I hand over all my produce. It's for the good of us all, he says. Only he takes the best bits for himself, of course. He even told me if I refuse his demands, I'll break the golden rule. I'm not sure I believe him, but then, what if he's right? So, it turns out our dear old magistrate is no better than the Legion thugs who took everything from me. I'm right back where I began. But don't you worry, Nemesis is waiting, and he'll get his, one day. He'll get his. Forget I said that last part, will you? I get carried away, sometimes.
Sure.
Thanks, friend. I knew I liked you. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Was there something else you wanted to talk about?
Do you know a way out of
As
here?
much as I'd love to get out of here, the harvest's always more fruitful in another man's field, isn't it? But Scintilla, Sentius' daughter, went missing a few weeks back. Could be she found a way out. If anyone knows for sure, it'll be her sister, Sentia. But she'd never tell the likes of me.
I don't think she'd tell me either.
Oh, I don't give it much thought these days. I mean, everybody here's got their own view about what we need to do to survive. But I say, let's spend less time arguing about what it means to be good and just get on with it, you know?
What do you think about the election?
I can't see how I could vote for either candidate. I don't like Sentius much, but Malleolus is almost as bad. Even I could do a better job. Me, a farmer. And I've never given a speech or put on a toga in my life.
I'll be going now.
All right, see you around.
Go talk to this guy again. Maybe this time I can convince him not to kill me.
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is?
I don't know,
I'm
Quintus.
not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and
Let's skip
execute.
this.
So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or other, is that understood?
Got
Thank
it.
you. Now tell me, who are you people, and what is this place?
We're just a small community of strangers who wound up here by
A small
accident.
community. I was told Quinctius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery cult.
Wait, what's a mystery cult?
Oh, don't
Never
play
heard
coy
that
with
before.
me. I don't care if you're worshipping Bacchus, Magna Mater, or Christ. You lot are all the same to me. Always sneaking off to your secret sanctuaries, indoctrinating each other with your little mantras. The Emperor may have tolerated your activities up until now, but after what Quinctius did, those days are numbered.
Got the wrong idea, we're not
You
cultists.
say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep this place a secret?
I'm still looking for a way out.
So you admit you're not allowed to leave.
We can leave if we want.
You're
Sure,
a terrible liar. So none of you are allowed to leave. Fascinating. That sounds an awful lot like a cult to me. And I saw the
Yes, I-
inscription saying, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." I take it this is some kind of mantra you all believe?
No.
Another lie. So you really do believe that? Fascinating. You've clearly been indoctrinated into this nonsense. Now tell me, where did you lot get enough gold to make all these statues?
There were once people who returned to gold as
You lot are
punishment.
practicing human sacrifice too. You people disgust me.
We didn't turn them to gold, a god did it, and we don't know which one.
Of course you'd say that, but that's what your kind do, isn't it? Our God told us to do it. It's all clear to me now. The secret sanctuary, the indoctrination, the mantra, the human sacrifice. You're cultists. There's no doubt in my mind. What baffles me is how a person can believe in something with such zeal. They just can't see what they've become. However, you still have a chance to redeem yourself. by telling me where Quintius is. Do not waste it.
Say this
Very
again.
well.
To see if
Here's what I know. The Emperor...
Alright. That didn't work, Poopy. How do you know he set fire to Rome?
All I know, all I care about, is that the Emperor believes he is guilty and wants him dead. The details are not my concern. This is your last chance. Are you going to tell me where he is or not?
I have no idea who or where he is.
Then you're
Oh, I
of
said that
no
before.
use to
Should
me.
have tried the other one.
Do you have any last words?
Just say, do you?
As a matter of fact, I do. Once I'm done with you and Quintius, I intend to kill every last one of you wretched degenerates. And I can think of nothing I'd enjoy more.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Yeah, you got what you deserve, dick. Alright. Wait. They're like attacking me. I want to. To break the goal is now instead of reloading save, we recommend following the magistrate instead. Alright, I'm saving. Well, then help me. I don't know what I'm doing. Ah, stop shooting me. Ow! Actually kind of scared me. And Poppy, that would damage me. I hope this is the right way. Oh, it is. Okay, so this is how time restarts, maybe.